Hello everyone, and welcome to my EastEnders Soap Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. On Tuesday, Reiss Colwell's potential next victim on EastEnders was hinted at, as a character seemed to be aware of his sinister behavior. Reiss was cautioned by a newcomer that they had known he was nasty for years and that his current behavior had validated her suspicions. The newcomer promised to report Reiss and his lies to the police after a shocking death on the show, but could she be the next victim? In a recent episode, Reiss gave the impression of killing his wife Debbie, leaving viewers in shock. However, the most recent episode made hints about his troubled history and the possibility that he was responsible for Debbie's health issue that put her in a care facility some time ago. On Tuesday night, Debbie's mother Brenda was eager to learn the truth and quickly threatened Debbie in a way that did not sit well with Reiss. Could Brenda, however, come to regret confronting him, and could Reiss use another one of his strikes to silence her? Reiss looked to have turned murderous last week, when the BBC soap opera said he had strangled his spouse in the assisted living facility where she had recently resided. Debbie was thought to have had a stroke some time ago, and she had been unconscious at the care facility ever since. On Tuesday's episode, Brenda found out that Reiss had just utilized Debbie's savings while she was still unconscious, putting them toward IVF therapy with Sonia Fowler, his new girlfriend. In the midst of Reiss' financial troubles and his inability to pay the care facility expenses, Brenda also learned that he had scheduled an investment with Sharon Watts, but in reality, Reiss is con artists. Brenda said she knew everything about Reiss's troubled past when she confronted him after this became too much for him. Brenda claimed she knew Reiss was broken and had secrets from the time they met, raising the possibility that there was something else he was concealing. Brenda seemed to be hinting that Debbie was not happy in their marriage and that she genuinely intended to divorce her husband. Before Debbie had her stroke, she said Debbie would call and tell her that she couldn't tolerate Reiss and that there was something strange about him. Then, Brenda suggested that Reiss might have had something to do with Debbie's stroke before she could leave him, calling it tragic that she had the life-altering event before she could. She then promised to report the money and her knowledge of Debbie to the authorities. She ran out of the home, giving Reiss a menacing look as he became alarmed. Is Brenda the next victim of his, and does she need to watch out for her? In unexpected moments on EastEnders, Reiss Colwell turned to murder. Now, he hopes he won't be discovered. Reiss and Sonia Fowler hit it off as soon as he got to Walford. But as time went on, it became clear that he was concealing a dark secret, that his wife Debbie was still alive and needed constant medical care. Later, it came to light that Reiss was actually deeply in debt as a result of having to finance Sonia's IVF treatments while simultaneously covering her medical bills when the couple decided they wanted a child. Reiss faced a shocking turn of events when he was unable to manage his mounting debt and killed his wife Debbie by choking her. Reiss is now in a panic since the police have been summoned and a post-mortem has been scheduled. Will the real cause of Debbie's death be discovered, and will it force Reiss to leave the square? While discussing the possibility that there is something even more evil about Reiss, actor Johnny Freeman stated of the response from fans, "It's all been very positive." However, he has not yet revealed if Reiss' secret will remain that way. While I believe that some people are still wary of Reiss and were wary of him in respect to the Jed plot, I also believe that this is a different kind of relationship. Sonia and Reiss have much milder personalities, therefore I believe they make an excellent fit. Recently, actor Johnny Freeman admitted that, despite accruing more debt, Reiss remained optimistic. He revealed, he's scurrying around, but he has hope that everything will turn out okay. I believe that there is both hope and naivety, and that Reiss eventually realizes that he is acting in a desperate manner when things begin to fall apart. I assume that although he's attempting to do the right thing by Sonia and Debbie, he's also losing sight of his moral compass. Who would bring down Reiss Colwell may have been hinted to by EastEnders following a twist in a recent murder. In a recent episode, a character expressed their worries that Reiss had a troubled background before his wife Debbie passed away. Reiss's apparent shift to murder was confirmed by the BBC soap opera, whereby it was hinted that he had strangled his spouse in the assisted living facility where she had recently resided. Debbie was thought to have had a stroke some time ago, and she had been unconscious at the care facility ever since. Reiss had to pay for the care home where she was being kept because he was unable to provide her with the full-time attention she required. However, viewers witnessed the character act last week despite his financial problems and inability to cover the care costs. A few months prior, he had pilfered money from Debbie's savings account to finance his and his partner Sonia Fowler's infertility treatment, hence, he was unable to pay the care facility. Reiss wept in terrible sequences where he seemed to kill Debbie off-screen just after taking out one of her pillows and holding it above her head. She was dead in the following episode, and Reiss left the house without being seen. Debbie's parents arrived this week, curious to learn how she passed away. Reiss, trying to hide his shame, speculated that it might have been pneumonia. But following some shocking revelations, Debbie's mother Brenda quickly became skeptical. Brenda just learned that Reiss was now with Sonia in this episode after learning that Reiss had been using Debbie's savings for the IVF. She called Reiss a robber and a liar and did not hesitate to express her suspicions that he might have had something to do with Debbie's death. However, Brenda also hinted that Reiss might have harmed Debbie in the past and had a troubled history. Brenda seemed to be hinting that Debbie was not happy in their marriage and that she genuinely intended to divorce her husband. Before Debbie had her stroke, she said Debbie would call and tell her that she couldn't tolerate Reiss and that there was something strange about him. Brenda described him as broken, saying she had known from the beginning that something was wrong with him. Then, Brenda suggested that Reiss might have had something to do with Debbie's stroke before she could leave him, calling it tragic that she had the life-altering event before she could. Then, she promised to report the money and what she knew about Debbie to the police. May this be the turning point at which Reiss's guilt over Debbie's passing surfaces? Here are spoilers for episodes of EastEnders that will run starting on Monday, August 5th. Next week, as his investment scam narrative progresses, Phil Mitchell will meet EastEnders' Reiss Colwell and give him a significant deadline. Reiss first attempted to obtain the money by informing Sharon that his wife Debbie had an unpaid tax payment that needed to be paid. Reiss has been having financial difficulties paying his wife Debbie's care facility cost. Reiss then apologized and claimed to have discovered an investment plan that might double Sharon's money when he was pressed for the proof. Sensing a swindle, Phil threatened to kill Reiss if Sharon didn't get her money back in 2 weeks. As if all of that turmoil wasn't enough, Reiss killed Debbie by suffocating her, took her engagement ring, and attempted to sell it online. In scenes that will appear next week, Sonia reassures Reiss that it is routine procedure and he should not worry about the authorities doing a post-mortem on Debbie. Eve, meanwhile, clocks him in the cafe wearing Debbie's wedding band. Later, Phil shows in and tells Reiss that he needs the return on the investment made earlier in less than 24 hours, or else. Since Reiss lacks the funds, he tells Sonia yet another falsehood. What is going to happen when Phil breathes down his neck, and what will he tell her? Actor Natalie Cassidy, who starred in Sonia, will take a hiatus from the soap opera to host a 4-part series on trends and consumer goods on Channel 4. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.